are doctors Mike and Lisa Kellogg, and we wanted to bring you some information about the symptoms. What are the symptoms of COVID-19? There's a lot of things we know and a lot of things we don't know, but what we do know is that the symptoms vary between patient and patient. There's not one symptom that can rule in the disease or the absence of a symptom, for example, fever, that could rule it out.
A lot of patients come to the office stating that they haven't had a fever, so they must not be contagious. That certainly is not true. You got to remember something that's unique about this. It appears that patients stay asymptomatic for up to 2 weeks and can still spread it. So you won't have a fever and you still could be infecting other people.
There are several people that will have the infection and not even ever have a symptom. So it won't be that they develop it in 14 days, they'll just go right through it without a symptom at all. The most common symptoms we see, however, are shortness of breath, headache, muscle aches. Some patients have diarrhea. I had one patient that had nothing but nausea for 2 weeks and then tested positive. But cough.
Yeah, and it appears with this, shortness of breath appears to be the biggest problem with this disease. So if you're having flu type symptoms, cold type symptoms, but there's something more, the breathing is hard, you're spitting up things, you can't get good air, you feel like you're breathing through a straw, that's a sign that you might want to take this a little more seriously, self-isolate for 14 days, and call your medical provider.
Yes, it's important. If you have any of these symptoms, self-isolate. Have your family act as if they have it too. Because if one person in the family is sick, chances are, even if everyone is feeling well, they just might be asymptomatic carriers.
And what we did in the office, we still saw some patients, but we just took the mindset that everyone has it, everyone's infected, so use precautions.
Another thing to remember with the COVID-19 infection is that usually the worst of the symptoms are going to appear around day 8 or 9 from the onset of symptoms. And this is unusual for other upper respiratory or lower respiratory infections. And day 8 and 9 is usually when the body is really trying to fight the infection, and it creates this huge inflammatory response, resulting in the shortness of breath.
Yeah, and some patients have gone through an initial sickness, they feel a little bit better, and then they suddenly feel worse. So that's another something that you could watch out for.